throne. They couldn't build their own. They can't believe my growth.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this series we're going to be going over Mars and the signs. And in this episode we're going to be talking about Mars and Leo, so having Mars and Leo in your birth natal chart, okay? So getting back into Mars in Leo, and before we actually get into that, I do have a disclaimer because some astrologers do mix the planet and the signs with the planets in the houses. So for an example, like for this video, Mars and Leo, a lot of astrologers will associate that also with Mars in the 5th house, like they're the same thing. And yes, they can be the same thing. You guys know I have a planets and houses series of all the planets in the houses. But the thing is, there is a slight difference between a planet and a sign versus a planet and a house. Planets and signs really represent your personality, who you are, how you're showing up. Planets in the houses is representing where these energies come in your life. Where do they show up in your life, in what sector? So the planets and the signs are going to be more personal, more about who you are, your personality, versus planets in the houses are going to sound more about where it's showing up in your reality. So with that being said, Mars in Leo, okay? Mars in Leo. And the first thing I can say about Mars and Leo is that these people are super passionate. And I use the term passionate because it's a mixture of, with Mars and Leo, it's a mixture of fun and adrenaline, okay? And that's what makes it passionate. Leo loves to have fun. Leo is ruled by the sun. It's all about the daytime, waking up, hey. You know, it's entertaining people. It's about feeling like a child, feeling spirit, feeling life, feeling alive, okay? That's Leo. Leo's all about feeling alive, feeling fun, expressing your light. And when you put this energy into Mars, which is adrenaline, intensity, okay? You're intensifying this energy of fun, of light, of inspiration. So that's why I say this is a very passionate sign, because these people passionately like to have fun, okay? They put so much energy into their light, okay? Into their charisma, because there's so much adrenaline on top of that Leo energy. So you already know Leos are so energetic and smiley and they're positive, and then you put Mars in here, you're intensifying it, okay? So these people have a passion for fun, a passion for positivity, you know, and it makes them a very passionate person. They have this energy and this like motivation for life. Also with Mars and Leo, these people could have a narcissistic side to themselves, okay? Definitely with Leo, Leo's all about you're being the center of attention, you know, being a star, having everyone's eyes on you, you know, very much Leo. So when you put it in Mars, of course, Mars is intensifying this, okay? So Leo's already could be self-centered, but with Mars here, it's like super self-centered, which can lead to like narcissism, you know. Now, I won't say this is your general personality because this is the Mars placement. This is more of a subtype category. But when you tap into this adrenaline, when you tap into this, you know, passionate energy of Mars, this intense energy of Mars, you get very much about yourself, okay? It becomes you. And Mars intensifies this, so you become very self-centered, and it can create like narcissistic behaviors, okay? When a Mars and Leo person gets mad, they become very much about themselves, me, and they could really disregard everything around them, you know, with that Mars energy, because it's intensifying your self-centeredness. If that's even a term, a real word, self-centeredness, but it's intensifying the attention you put on yourself, and Leo's already about themselves. You intensify it with Mars. It's just so extra. So be careful about making things all about you, you know, getting really angry and then not being able to see the situation for what it is, because you're just all about yourself. And it can be so hard for Mars and Leos to get out of this, because again, there is so much intense fireness within yourself, about yourself. It can really lead into lots of narcissistic egocentric behavior where you're just only thinking about yourself, not caring about others, and being very vicious and aggressive with it. Leo energy is the ego, so Mars is only intensifying that ego. So it's just like, oh my god, Mars and Leo, you know, when you get these people mad, they could just be so narcissistic, which could be a good thing. You know, when Mars and Leo, you're good at gassing and hyping yourself up, being your biggest cheerleader, because you know how to center things around you. But again, it definitely can go overboard with that Mars energy. Also, with Mars and Leo, this is a very sensitive ego, okay? That's someone who has a very strong temper, gets really angry when someone attacks them, okay? And it attacks their ego, their pride, okay? You know. So with Mars and Leo, these people don't like people coming for them at all. You know, these are people who can have very sensitive egos, like, you know, if they come out dressing a certain way and you're like, you know, your shoes are kind of off, this is really piss off a Mars and Leo, because you're coming for their image, you're coming for their brain, you're coming for how they show themselves off, which is Leo. Leo's all about showing yourself off. So, and it's so intensified in here in Mars, so you come for their ego, they get really upset, they get really angry, they're here to defend it. You know, Mars is the fighter. So, and Leo's the ego, so you got to think fighting for your ego. So that could look like a very sensitive ego, because, you know, you might be joking with the Mars and Leo and they take it very personally because that's their image. That's all about them. So when you inflate your ego and, you know, you make it all about yourself, you also are open yourself up to being a huge target. You know, you're making your ego also sensitive the more you inflate it, because now it's so easy for people to offend you, you know, because you're so intense about yourself. You take yourself so seriously, you know, you're so prideful. So the more prideful you are, the easier it is to hurt a person's pride, the easier it is to hurt a person's feelings, the easier it is to come for somebody's persona, personality, image, you know. So with Mars and Leo people, they can have very sensitive egos. Remember, Mars is fight, Leo is ego, fighting for your ego. So a lot of these people are here to defend it. And you might think like, okay, it wasn't that serious, it was just a joke. But like, again, the bigger your ego, the more sensitive it is, the more open it is to critique, to judgment, okay? You're a bigger target because your ego is bigger. Person who doesn't have such a big self-inflated ego isn't going to be so easily offended. They can take a joke easier. They don't interpret things differently because they're able to see different perspectives. Okay, so they're not going to be so sensitive because they're able to see, hey, there's other situations going on, there's other things going around, it's not just about me. But when you make everything about you're also making yourself a big target to be easily, you know, played with, easily offended, you know. So again, with Mars and Leo, yes, these people are very confident, yes, these people have a lot of energy, they have a lot of passion, but they can also be very sensitive with the ego. It can be easy to hurt their feelings, and they can get really pissed off and like fight for it like no other. So Mars and Leos can have a strong temper, okay? Mars and fire signs in general, because this is fire and fire. Mars is fire and then the fire sign. So this is definitely a strong temper, like we said, with the ego. They can intensely defend themselves. That fire energy is a lot, you know. Mars and fire signs, you know, they could have a heated temper, heated rage, okay? And that same energy that helps them, you know, motivates them, helps them get moving, is the same energy that can really get them really pissed off and angry and fiery and hot-headed. So, you know, Mars and Leo, you know, if you come for them, get ready for someone who's really gonna fight, because you have to understand Leo is also a fixed sign. So these people are very fixated. So if they're right, they are right. They are going to defend themselves to the end of time. They're going to fight to the end of time. That's how strong their egos is. And Mars is just intensifying it. So they do not back down a fight. It just, in fact, if a fight starts, they're just going to get hotter. And again, this is this Mars in a fire sign. And, you know, this is Leo, the ego and everything. So It's a really lot of strong energy. They take things really personally when they're angry, and they can really lash out. Also, Mars and Leos are very athletic. Okay, this is a placement with lots of energy, lots of motivation, fire on fire. So this could be really good with athleticism, sports, doing things with action of movement. A lot of people, I would say, if your Mars is in a fire sign, definitely get into sports. Mars and Leo, you could be an athlete who gets a lot of attention. Like, you play really well on the field, and not only are you really good, but you play in a way where you're entertaining people. You're just the leader, the star of the field. You're the soccer superstar, the basketball superstar. So these people are very athletic. Great for athleticism, great for movement, activity. It's a fire energy, so they're gonna want to get moving. And Mars and Leos are movers. This is why they're athletic, because they have to move and burn their energy. Mars and Leo is also a good placement for performing arts as well too, if you're into it. Leo is creative, and Leo definitely rules the performing arts. Performing your artistry, being a star on stage and people watching you. That's all Leo energy. So when you put this in Mars, there's a lot of intensity with this. So if your Mars is in Leo and you're a performing artist, this is a really good placement for you, because you get so much adrenaline on stage. I think Beyonce actually has Mars in Leo, and you guys see how she's on stage. She's dancing around, she's moving. She's one of the best entertainers, live performers in their generation. So Mars and Leo is really good for that. Like, dance is really good for Mars and Leo because it's very physical. You're doing it in front of a stage, in front of people. So Leo loves, again, like being on stage and stuff like that, but also the activity, the movement, the adrenaline. There's a lot of energy that a lot of Mars and Leo people can put on stage. They're very energetic performers. So if you like the arts, if you like the performing arts, and your Mars is in Leo, definitely get into it, because you will have so much energy on stage. You'll be so entertaining, and you'll have like this intensity, that just makes you exciting to watch. Also, with Mars and Leo, this can manifest a very sexy body, a good look. Mars rules our physical body, okay, our muscle system, our muscular system, and our shape and how we physically come out. And Leo is all about expressing ourselves, showing ourselves off. Okay, Leo rules sexiness. Okay, looking sexy, looking attractive. Okay, on not just a stylistic level, but on a physical body level. This is fire energy. Okay, fire rules the muscular system. So Leo's is all about looking good and showing it off and showing off your body. But when you put it in Mars, it takes this energy more directly into your body, like your literal physical body when we talk about Mars. So Mars and Leo people, just like I said with Mars and Aries, very sexy. Okay, you can have a very sexy body, a nice shape, really good muscle tone. You can build muscle really well. Mars and Leo women, again, nice in shape, nice good look. Okay, so a sexy body, a sexually attractive body is definitely a huge manifestation with Mars and Leo. Mars and fire signs really does make a very nice shaped person. And even if you're not in shape, say you're Mars and Leo and you don't have the shape, true, but you could just be very sexual in general. Okay, so like Mars and Leo is not only a sexy body, but just a very sexual person in general. Okay, so maybe you're not physically on beauty standards the most physically attractive person, but your energy and how you express yourself, how you style yourself, how you show yourself off is very sexy and sexual, because again, Mars and Leo is not just a sexy body, but it's just a sexual person. Okay, the sexuality, the sexual energy with Mars and Leo is very high here. Mars is already a sexual planet. It rules our sexual energy on a very adrenaline, chemical level. And then you put Leo here, which is all about showing your sex appeal off. Fire energy rules sex. It's very sexual. You're just it's intensifying that sexual energy. And it's in Leo, so you like to show it off. Okay, so You know, the sexuality here is very high. Mars and Leo people love to have sex. You know, it's a very fun activity for them. It's a way for them to release their energy and show themselves off. You know, the sexual drive here is very high. So again, lots of fire, lots of energy to burn, lots of sex to burn. But also likes to show it off. You know, dress in sexy outfits, show it off to people. So, in very intense ways. This is Mars, so you got an intensity for it. So, you know, Mars and Leo, they're not afraid to look hot. They're not afraid to peel off the clothes. They're not afraid to show off their sexuality. They love the activity. It's fun for them. It's a very hypersexual placement. So, definitely be aware of that. I don't know how many times I said sexuality, but you get it. It's Mars and Leo. You're gonna say sex a lot of times because that's the Mars and Leo energy. Very sexual energy. Also, with Mars and Leo, this is a great placement for leadership. Okay, leadership. Mars and Leo people know how to take lead. They get a lot of adrenaline off of taking lead. They just shine a lot, especially during intense moments when you need someone. Mars and Leo can step up to the plate during intense moments and take the lead. These are very, very confident people. Mars and Leo people are very confident. I'm gonna really say that. It's true, because to have this confident energy like Leo into a very tough, powerful, motivating planet like Mars, you know, very much about independence, moving forward, being direct. These people are very direct. They're very confident. They're great leaders. Mars and Leo makes a great leader, someone who can take action. And not only are they great leaders, but a lot of people like to take their lead. So Leos, they're very shiny. They shine bright. They stand out. And their leadership is very positive. A lot of people like to follow the light. You know, think about it. It's the light. You know, it's showing the way. So with Mars and Leo, a huge potential of being great leaders. Great leaders because they're so confident, okay? They have strong confidence, a strong natural self-esteem, a strong high self-esteem. You know, these people are hot and warm. They're warm. They got a lot of heat. They got a lot of warmth. You know, they are confident in themselves. They are brave. And this is a very, very, very good thing to state when it comes to Mars and Leo. You're not going to punk these people easily. They're going to have a lot of confidence in themselves. Even if they fail, they're going to get back up. It's their ego. It's very strong. So it's something to not be underestimated. Like, I like to say that Mars and Leo is like a good self-esteem, a high self-esteem. You know, you just have it in you. You have that confidence, that warmth, that belief in yourself. It's probably one of the most positive traits, in my opinion, with this placement. Very confident, very high self-esteem. And don't we need that in this day? Now, Mars and Leo and Mars versus Mars and Aries. Now, the reason why I say this is because Aries and Leo are easily rivalries, okay? Because they have a lot of similar traits. They're very blunt, very confident. They're fire signs. Okay, they know themselves. They take lead, but they do it in different ways. And when we're talking about Mars, we're talking about fighting. We're talking about competition. So I can't do a Mars and Leo video without doing a little versus with Mars and Aries. And when you compare Mars and Leo versus Mars and Aries, definitely a huge rivalry. Aries can hate how much attention Leos get for the same things they do. Okay. And Leo can kind of get irritated with how detached Aries are with how they go about winning and doing their thing. You know, but when it comes to this placement in Mars, because we're talking about Mars, Mars and Aries is going to have to win here. The only reason why I say that is because with Mars and Leo, the problem with it here is that you're carrying baggage that Mars and Aries doesn't have to carry. This is why Mars is ruled by Aries and Aries is at home here. Mars doesn't care about who's watching them. Mars doesn't care about the attention they're getting. They don't got time for that. Mars is all about freedom, independence. I don't got time to carry any baggage, worrying about anything. Whereas Mars and Leo has that. Mars and Leo's motivation comes from themselves and how it appears to other people. It's about being self-centered, who's having attention on you. Mars and Aries does not care. Mars and Aries is just do as thy will. I'm just going to do what I want. And that's how Mars likes to move. It doesn't want to care about what people are seeing, saying, or doing. It doesn't care for that baggage. It's not so much about the ego. It's more so much about the will. Okay? The will, not the ego. So when it comes to Mars and Leo versus Mars and Aries, this is the only part I feel like Mars and Leo has a little bit of a downfall, and where Mars and Aries is truly the winner, because this is, Mars and Aries. Aries is at home in Mars. So yes, that is Mars and Leo. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Very passionate position. Okay, this position is fun, it's sexy, it's hot, it's confident, it's stylish, it's exciting, and it just has so much warmth and energy. Just be careful to not take the ego to the next level. Narcissism can be an easy placement, okay? It can easily go from a lot of confidence and self-esteem to narcissism, okay? And a sensitive, retaliating ego. So be careful of that, to not step into narcissism. But very blessed placement, beautiful, sexy, energetic, motivating, great leaders. I mean, there's not much bad things you can say about this. Also athletic too. So that's Mars and Leo. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Okay, and if you did, book a reading with me. Okay, I do birth natal chart readings. Okay, all you gotta do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com, and I'll certainly go forward with you. Also, check out my music video. Okay, the video is in my page. All you gotta do is type in my name. It'll certainly pop out, and I will check you guys out on the next video. Thanks for watching.